Ladies and gentlemen, listen up. Today is not about excuses, it's about results. We're stripping away the machines, the fancy gear, the gimmicks, and we're getting back to the raw truth. Your body is the only equipment you'll ever need. Welcome to Bodyweight Bells Blast, a challenge that will push your limits, torch your doubts, and prove just how powerful you really are. No shortcuts, no comfort zones, just grit, sweat, and transformation. You ready? Because it starts no-do. Your body is your gym, no excuses. That's the truth most people don't want to hear because it strips away every justification, every I don't have time, every I can't afford a membership, every I don't have the right equipment. The reality is that your body right here, right now, is the most powerful training tool you could ever ask for. You were born with it. You carry it with you everywhere you go, and it's capable of more than you can possibly imagine. The problem is most people underestimate it. They think they need fancy machines, shiny dumbbells, or the latest fitness gadget to transform their lives, when in reality, the transformation starts with mastering the basics, moving your own body against gravity, pushing yourself past your limits, and realizing you are your own greatest resource. When you train with your body weight, you're not just working out, you're building functional strength that translates into every aspect of your daily life. You don't need to wait until you're in a perfectly equipped gym to get stronger, faster, leaner, or more confident. You can hit push-ups in your living room, squat in your office, lunge down a hallway, or hold a plank in your bedroom. No barriers, no special environment, just action. That means you've eliminated the biggest excuse most people fall back on: lack of access. There's no lack of access when your gym lives in your skin, bones, and muscles. Think about what happens when you commit to bodyweight training. You start to realize that movement is universal. A push up doesn't require an instructor to guide you every time. You know the motion. A squat doesn't need a rack. You've got gravity. A plank doesn't need a mat. You've got the ground beneath you. These movements, when done consistently, don't just sculpt your body, they hardwire discipline into your brain. They force you to confront the truth. It's not about what you don't have, it's about what you refuse to use. The only question is whether you're willing to harness the tool you've been carrying your whole life. And let's be clear, training with your body weight is no joke. It's not a fallback plan, it's not second best, and it's not easy. Do you think 100 push-ups feel like child's play? Try it. Try holding a plank until your core shakes. Try pistol squats until your legs are on fire. Your body will humble you, and in that humility comes strength. Because once you see what you can do with nothing more than your own frame, you realize that the limits you thought existed were nothing but illusions. Another reason bodyweight training is so powerful is adaptability. You can scale it up or down depending on your level. Beginners can start with wall push-ups or knee push-ups, while advanced athletes can progress to one-arm push-ups. A simple squat can evolve into a jump squat, a pistol squat, or a burpee. You're not limited, you're evolving. Your body evolves with the work you put into it, and the exercises grow with you. No membership can buy that kind of versatility. This mindset also builds resilience. When you're committed to using your body as your gym, you eliminate dependency. You no longer tie your progress to whether or not you can make it to the gym, whether a trainer is available, or whether a piece of equipment is free. That dependency is what keeps most people stuck. They rely on external factors, and when those factors fall apart, so does their discipline. But when your workout is you, nothing can stop you. You take away every excuse and leave yourself face with only one question: will you show up for yourself today? The human body was designed to move, climb, jump, push, and pull. Every muscle, every tendon, every joint was built to function in harmony to keep you alive and powerful. Yet somewhere along the line, society made movement optional, comfort normal, and excuses acceptable. That's why so many people are frustrated, out of shape, and stuck. But the moment you flip the switch and embrace the fact that your body is your gym, you reclaim that design, you return to the raw, authentic truth of fitness. Movement is life. Strength is earned, not given. That's the hard truth that separates those who talk about transformation from those who actually achieve it. You cannot buy strength, you cannot borrow it, and you cannot fake it. Strength demands sweat, effort, and persistence. It demands that you show up when you don't feel like it, that you push through when your mind screams to quit, and that you choose to embrace the discomfort that others run from. Strength doesn't show up overnight, it accumulates slowly and relentlessly from every rep, every set, every ounce of energy you invest. You don't get it as a gift. You build it brick by brick through your actions. Think about what strength really is. It's not just the ability to lift heavy weight or crank out endless push ups. It's not just about muscle definition or a number on a barbell. True strength is a combination of physical power, mental grit, and emotional resilience. It's the capacity to stand tall when life throws you down, to hold your ground when the world tests you, and to keep driving forward when the path feels impossible. And here's the truth, none of that comes easily. Every drop of it must be earned. In training, strength is the reward for consistency. If you show up once in a while, if you dabble, if you quit every time things get uncomfortable, you don't earn the right to call yourself strong. Your body knows the truth. It only adapts when you force it to, when you repeatedly challenge it, when you push it past its comfort zone and demand more. Every time you push against resistance, whether it's gravity, a dumbbell, or your own body weight, you're not just moving, you're teaching your body to rise to the occasion. And little by little, it does. That's how strength is built through progressive, intentional struggle. But strength is not just built in the gym or during training sessions, it's built in every choice you make outside of it. The strength to wake up earlier instead of hitting snooze, the strength to choose fuel over junk, the strength to say no when distractions try to steal your focus. Every choice compounds, every decision reinforces who you are becoming, and those choices earn you the strength you need when the tough moments arrive. Strength becomes a lifestyle, not a workout. People often envy those who radiate power and resilience, but what they don't see is the cost behind it. They don't see the hours of sweat, the failures, the setbacks, the soreness, the days when motivation was nowhere to be found but discipline carried the load. Strength is a currency, and the only way to pay for it is with effort. That's why it feels so rewarding. If it were handed out for free, it wouldn't mean anything. It matters precisely because it's difficult to achieve. When you begin to understand that strength must be earned, you also begin to respect the process. You stop looking for shortcuts, you stop wishing for easy paths, and you stop comparing yourself to others. Instead, you focus on the work in front of you. You take pride in the fact that every push up, every squat, every lunge, every drop of sweat is a deposit in your strength account. You trust that the process will pay off because it always does. The human body is designed to adapt to stress, and the mind is designed to grow when challenged. As long as you keep earning, strength will keep showing up. And make no mistake, strength doesn't end with the physical. The discipline you build through training bleeds into every area of your life. The strength to endure a grueling workout becomes the strength to endure a tough day at work. The strength to finish your last rep becomes the strength to finish what you started in life. The strength to face your fears in training becomes the strength to face challenges outside the gym. That's why strength must be earned. It transforms you from the inside out. Discomfort is where growth begins. Most people run from it, avoid it, and do everything they can to stay within the warm bubble of comfort. But comfort is the killer of progress. Comfort is the place where nothing changes, nothing evolves, and nothing gets better. If you want transformation, if you want strength, if you want to see what you're truly capable of, you have to step directly into discomfort and stay there long enough for growth to happen. That's the brutal reality of change. Discomfort is the price of admission. When your muscles start to burn, when your lungs feel like they're on fire, when your body shakes under the weight of its own resistance, that's not a signal to stop. That's the signal that you're alive in the process of growth. Discomfort is not your enemy, it is your ally. It is your body's way of telling you that you're stepping into uncharted territory, that you're pushing past the boundaries of what you thought was possible. Without that signal, you'd never know you were advancing. Pain is not the same as harm, and learning to recognize that difference is one of the greatest lessons in both fitness and life. Think about the first time you tried an exercise you weren't used to. Maybe it was your first push up, your first sprint, or your first attempt at a plank. It felt awkward, it felt exhausting, and maybe it felt impossible. But then you did it again and again and again. Slowly, that discomfort became manageable. What once felt unbearable became normal, and what was normal became easy. That's the cycle of growth, discomfort, adaptation, mastery. You don't leap from zero to greatness. You earn it by walking through discomfort over and over until you become stronger than the challenge in front of you. The mind plays the biggest role here. Your body can handle far more than you think, but your mind is quick to throw up red flags. The moment you feel the burn, your brain screams, "Stop, this hurts. You can't handle it." That's survival instinct, not truth. The truth is that your body has more in the tank, and the only way to access it is by proving to your mind that discomfort is safe. Each time you push through, you rewire your brain to stop seeing discomfort as danger and start seeing it as growth. That shift is where breakthroughs happen, not just in fitness, but in every challenge you face. Outside of training, the same principle applies. Discomfort shows up when you take risks, when you chase goals that scare you, when you walk into situations where you're uncertain of the outcome. That discomfort is a sign you're stepping out of your old patterns and into growth. If you avoid it, you stay stagnant. If you face it, you expand. The same way a muscle tears slightly to grow back stronger, you must let yourself stretch, strain, and sometimes stumble in order to build a stronger version of yourself. Discomfort strips away ego. It humbles you. It forces you to admit that you're not yet where you want to be, but it also gives you the tools to get there. Every time you feel uncomfortable, you're in the exact place where progress is made. That's why the people who succeed are not the ones who chase comfort, but the ones who embrace discomfort as a necessary companion. They don't fear it, they welcome it because they understand that it's the forge where change is created. Consistency beats intensity every time. Anyone can show up once and go all out. Anyone can pour everything they have into a single workout, a single effort, or a single burst of motivation. But that's not what changes a body, a mind, or a life. Real change doesn't come from a single act of intensity. It comes from the repeated acts of showing up day after day, doing the work when you feel like it, and especially when you don't. Consistency is the engine that drives transformation, and without it, intensity is just noise that fades away. Think about the people who start strong, fueled by excitement, chasing fast results. They push too hard too quickly, and for a short while they burn bright. But soon after, they fizzle out because they can't sustain that pace. They confuse intensity with progress, forgetting that the real measure of success is not how hard you can go in one moment, but how long you can keep moving forward. Intensity might give you a spark, but consistency builds the fire that lasts. Consistency is about building habits that stick. It's about creating a rhythm that weaves training into your daily life until it becomes part of who you are. It doesn't matter if the workout is short, if the reps are fewer, or if the pace is slower. What matters is that you did it, because every time you show up, even at 50%, you're reinforcing the identity of someone who doesn't quit. Over time, that steady repetition builds a foundation stronger than any single explosive burst of effort ever could. Your body understands consistency better than it understands intensity. Muscles don't grow because of one brutal session. They grow because of constant, repeated stress followed by recovery. Endurance doesn't appear from one long run. It comes from miles accumulated over weeks and months. Strength, stamina, resilience, they are all earned by teaching your body through repeated exposure. Your nervous system adapts, your muscles adapt, your mindset adapts. That kind of adaptation only comes from showing up consistently, not from occasional outbursts. Consistency also builds discipline. It forces you to align your actions with your goals, even when you're not in the mood. Intensity relies on motivation, but consistency relies on commitment. Motivation is fleeting. Some days you'll have it, some days you won't. If you wait for motivation to strike before acting, you'll spend most of your life waiting. But if you lean on consistency, you train yourself to act regardless of how you feel. That's where discipline lives, and discipline will take you places motivation never can. The beauty of consistency is that it compounds. Each workout, each choice, each step forward stacks on top of the last. The results may not appear immediately, and that's why so many people give up. But those who trust the process know that every small effort matters. The body is keeping score, even when the mirror hasn't caught up yet. Day by day, brick by brick, you're building something powerful. Eventually, those small, consistent actions explode into visible, undeniable progress. Intensity has its place, it challenges you, shocks your system, and tests your limits. But without consistency, it's meaningless. It's the follow through after the intensity that matters. Anyone can sprint, but only those who show up again tomorrow and the next day and the day after that create lasting change. Consistency doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for presence. It asks for you to show up again and again until the extraordinary becomes ordinary and the results are inevitable. Your mind quits before your body does. That's the truth most people never fully realize, and it's why so many fall short of their potential. The body is capable of so much more than we give it credit for, but the mind is quick to surrender. The moment fatigue sets in, the moment discomfort rises, the mind begins whispering excuses, reasons to stop, reasons to believe you've hit your limit. But those limits aren't real. They're constructs, walls built by fear, doubt, and the instinct to stay safe. The body can endure, the body can fight, the body can push far beyond what the mind believes possible, but only if you refuse to listen to the voice that tells you to quit. Every great athlete, every warrior, every person who has transformed themselves knows this truth. They know that the battle is not just physical, it's psychological. It's not the burning in your muscles that ends your set, it's the voice in your head that says you can't go on. It's not the pounding of your heart that stops you, it's the story you tell yourself about how much you can take. The mind is wired for survival, not for greatness. Its job is to keep you safe, to keep you comfortable, to avoid risk and pain. But greatness lives in risk and pain. To reach it, you have to override the instinct to quit. The body is resilient beyond measure. Think of the times you've been pushed further than you thought you could go. A coach demanding one more rep, a teammate urging you to hold on, a moment where you surprised yourself and found energy you didn't think you had. That wasn't new strength suddenly appearing out of nowhere. That was strength that was always there, unlocked only because you silenced the part of your mind begging you to stop. The body was ready, the mind was holding you back. Training is about teaching the mind to stop quitting early. Every rep after you want to stop, every second you hold on when you want to let go is a victory over the false limits your brain has set. The more you do this, the more you train your mental toughness. Over time, the voice that says, I can't, gets quieter, and the belief that I can grows louder. That's how you expand your capacity. It's not just your muscles getting stronger, it's your willpower. It's your ability to recognize that fatigue is not failure, it's just feedback, and feedback is not a reason to quit. This principle doesn't apply only in training. In life, the same pattern plays out. The moment things get tough, the mind starts crafting exit strategies. It tells you to give up on goals, to abandon dreams, to accept mediocrity because pushing forward feels too hard. But just like in training, those limits are illusions. The mind will always tap out early, but if you dig deeper, if you commit to pushing beyond that first wave of resistance, you discover reserves of strength you never knew existed. That's how breakthroughs happen. That's how you prove to yourself that you're stronger than you believed. The truth is, your body is a machine built to adapt, built to handle pressure, built to recover and come back stronger. Your mind, on the other hand, is a gatekeeper, constantly trying to protect you from imagined dangers. If you listen to it, you'll stay stuck in the same place, always convinced you've done enough, always believing you've reached your limit. But if you challenge it, if you demand more, you'll discover that the real limit lies far beyond where your mind wants to stop. Every time you push through that barrier, you're teaching yourself a lesson the body doesn't quit, the mind does, and you are in control of which one you listen to. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. Too many people sabotage themselves chasing some ideal image of flawlessness, believing that unless everything is perfect, it's not worth doing at all. That mindset kills momentum before it ever has the chance to build. The truth is that transformation is never about perfection. It's about moving forward step by step, no matter how small the steps may seem. Progress is the proof of effort, the evidence of growth, and the only thing that truly matters when it comes to lasting change. Perfection is an illusion. There is no perfect workout, no perfect diet, no perfect day where everything aligns exactly the way you want. Waiting for perfection is just another excuse not to act. People tell themselves they'll start when the timing is right, when they feel more motivated, when conditions are ideal, but that day never comes. Progress, on the other hand, doesn't wait for the stars to align. Progress is built in the messy middle, when you show up tired, when life is chaotic, when you stumble and still decide to keep going. That's where growth happens, not in a perfect moment, but in the imperfect grind of real life. When you chase progress, you shift your focus from outcomes to actions. Instead of obsessing over whether you nailed every rep with flawless form or whether you ate the perfect meal, you ask yourself, did I move forward today? Did I do better than yesterday? Even a little better counts. If yesterday you could do 5 push-ups and today you did 6, that's progress. If last week you skipped workouts 3 times and this week you only skipped once, that's progress. Progress may not look glamorous, it may not feel like a massive victory, but stacked over time, those small wins create massive transformation. Progress also teaches resilience. When you stop demanding perfection, you give yourself room to fail without giving up. A missed workout doesn't mean you've blown it. A slip in your nutrition doesn't mean you've ruined everything. Progress is forgiving. It allows for mistakes as long as you keep moving forward. This mindset is powerful because it removes the all or nothing trap that causes so many people to quit. Perfection says, you failed, so stop. Progress says, you stumbled, so get back up and keep going. That difference is everything. Focusing on progress also keeps you motivated. Perfection feels unattainable, always out of reach, always leaving you frustrated and discouraged. But progress is tangible. You can feel it, measure it, and celebrate it. The weight on the bar that feels a little lighter, the mile you run a little faster, the set you finish with a little more ease. Those are real signs that what you're doing is working. Celebrating progress builds momentum, and momentum fuels consistency. You keep going because you see the proof that your effort matters. Progress reshapes your identity. Every step forward reinforces the belief that you are capable of change. You stop identifying as someone who quits and start identifying as someone who improves. That identity shift is more powerful than any temporary result because it sticks with you for life. You begin to trust yourself, to know that no matter what happens, you will continue to move forward. That trust creates confidence, and that confidence spills into every area of your life. Perfection is paralyzing, but progress is liberating. Progress gives you permission to be human, to embrace the messiness of growth, and to focus on the journey instead of obsessing over the finish line. It transforms the process from something you dread into something you can sustain because it's no longer about being flawless. It's about being better. Even 1% better every day compounds into results you never thought possible.